big bowl. Oh, he's peeing. Hey, cake nieces, it's Marisha. We're outside today because it's a beautiful spring day, right, Biscotti? We're outside. And you guys, for Easter, I made a gorgeous, gorgeous coconut custard cake. And I want to show you guys how to make this. So this is actually a recipe that I'm using from one of the most popular baking channels here on YouTube. I really love his work, so I really want to do this recipe. And I'm kind of interested to see how I like it. Let's get in the car. We're gonna go get some Cordoba. I want some nachos. Coconut cake is definitely a springtime favorite. So if you love coconut cake like I do, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get started. Let's get it started, and yeah. All right, you guys, I had to get that out. I don't know why. I have my coconut milk, my flour, sugar, baking soda, salt, cream of tartar, eggs, a lot of eggs. Thank goodness that the price has gone down because, whoa. We have some coconut flakes, some oil, some butter. Make sure that it is unsalted. Actually, truly, I don't mind salted butter in cakes. Just don't use that for the frosting. And then I have my homemade vanilla extract and some rum extract, little secret ingredient. These are all of my ingredients to make this coconut cake. I will leave the recipe in the description. So I was totally jumping ahead and I started putting the flour in the bowl, and that is not the first step, so don't mind that. The first step is to cream our softened butter in half of that sugar. So I'm going to put that in my large mixing bowl, my stand mixer with a paddle attachment. I'm going to go ahead and add in my extract. Look at that gorgeous vanilla bean extract with actual vanilla beans. Let's put in some rum extract, and I do this because the rum flavor, to me, thinking about it, is just going to bring out that coconut flavor. It's going to add another slight little fruity element that you're not really going to understand, but you'll taste it. And that is exactly the reaction that I got. I just wanted something extra, and it is so good. It really does complement the coconut. So you can see after mixing for a few seconds, I scraped down the sides of the bowl. I don't know why. I don't know what the purpose is, because then I have to add in this coconut milk. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be super weird. We are going to basically slosh some sugar butter around in this coconut milk. Once again, you guys, I'm following a recipe. So far the only different thing that I did was add in that rum extract, but I'm following a recipe, and I did not watch the tutorial. I didn't want to. I just wanted to follow the recipe how it read. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to add in my oil now. And once again, I mean, we are sloshing, and that butter went straight to the outside of that bowl. There's really no point in me scraping it down. I'm really just playing in my food at this point. So, you know, but we're just going to do what the recipe says. And because I know it's going to be delicious. Okay. So we're going to mix. It said until creamy. But that wasn't gonna have it. I don't know. So at this point, I'm going to combine all of my dry ingredients. That is my flour, my salt, baking soda. I gave it a quick little whisk. I couldn't whisk like I wanted to because you can see how small this bowl is. But I'm going to add my dry ingredients into that bowl of wet ingredients. And I'm just going to do this in increments because I definitely don't want to overmix. So you usually do this in 3 increments. And you just want to mix just until that flour has disappeared, okay? So this is a very odd technique for me. I can't really remember doing something like this. I mean, I'm trying to think back to even in culinary school. Did I ever mix the dry with the wet and then add in the eggs later? I don't think so. But at this point, it looks pretty good. All right, so we've mixed everything just until that flour is incorporated. And now we're going to set that aside and work on the eggs. So we have 5 eggs, and we need to whip up the egg whites. So I'm going to rub my bowl down with a little bit of white distilled vinegar. That takes away any of the fat that may be lingering in the bowl that would keep your egg whites from foaming up properly. So I'm just going to separate all of the eggs, put those egg yolks to the side because we will be using them. Now you guys, the last time that I made a coconut cake, it was years ago. I mean, it was just when I started baking, and it was so delicious and it was so easy, but I wanted to do something different. So I actually googled the best coconut cake ever, and this one had the highest rating. So I am very excited to try it today. Now I'm going to begin whisking my egg whites, and just when I start to see a little bit of foam appear, I'm then going to add in my cream of tartar. Okay, and this will allow for those egg whites to really fluff up. It's not completely necessary. If it's hard for you to find cream of tartar, you don't have to have it, but it does help. You could definitely tell a difference. Make sure that your eggs are room temperature. That is super, super, super big. So we are going to add in half of our granulated sugar, and you'll notice when you do that, the egg whites turn super shiny. They get a little bit less translucent, and let it whisk until you reach a stiff peak. You know it's at a stiff peak when it looks like Santa Claus's beard upside down and it holds its shape. So at this point, I did beat my egg yolks just a little bit, and I'm going to fold them into my egg whites. This is a gorgeous sight, is it not? That yellow on that white like that. So now we can go back to our dough mixture, and we are going to put in half of our egg mixture and carefully fold it in. And by folded, I mean use a spatula or a paddle like this one. Scrape around the sides of the bowl, and then occasionally you'll cut in half and fold. You don't want to just mix, because then you will deflate all of the eggs and the air will escape, and it'll be like, why do we even whip the eggs up in the first place, you know? So we're going to do this until it is pretty much incorporated, and then we're going to go ahead and add the second half of those eggs. When I saw this step, I said, okay, this is going to be a fluffy cake, and that's why you really have to be careful with this. It could either be really, really right or really, really wrong. And it will turn out really, really wrong if you over mix your batter. So like I said, you want to keep as much air in that mixture as you possibly can. At that point, I'm going to go ahead and put my batter into my prepared 8-inch pan, a little bit of parchment and a little bit of spray around the sides to make sure that they do not stick, in the oven at 350 degrees for about 28 minutes. Now there is a buttercream recipe that came with this recipe, and I just want to say I have never seen a recipe like this, so it was kind of interesting to me. It was a stable cream cheese frosting. So it's butter, cream cheese, of course powdered sugar, which you see now, and powdered milk. That was confusing to me, and I didn't know if I was reading that wrong, so I read it a few times. It definitely said powdered milk. I have plenty of powdered milk. I'm gonna add that powdered milk. The granules are pretty big. I mean, they're large and in charge, and they do not disintegrate into butter. They don't disintegrate into buttercream. I don't know if there was a liquid added, and maybe that milk powder was added to the liquid at some point, and then maybe it melted in. But you could pretty much see my milk powder as I'm decorating the cake. So we'll get there, but I just gotta say thank goodness for the coconut. You know, thank goodness for the coconut. Anyway, my layers have come out. They are completely cooled. They look beautiful. I mean, something about sponge cakes and cakes that involve that whippage, they always come out pretty leveled and pretty gorgeous looking. So this is going to be fairly easy to decorate. Now, I made a buttercream border because I do have coconut custard. Yes, this is a cheat right here. My favorite coconut custard comes in those little pouches that you sometimes find in cake decorating stores and specialty stores. You guys, I had some. I had some. You can buy yours from the market. You can make it yourself. This is actually Easter Day, and I only had but 30 minutes to finish this cake, and I procrastinated just a little bit. So hey, when I run out of coconut custard, I will just take some of my extra frosting. I'll add in some coconut flakes and a little bit of coconut extract, and that tastes amazing. And I use that as a filling, so if you want to do that, please feel free. You can do a little bit of buttercream with a splash of coconut cream, which is the cream that you find on top of that coconut milk in the can. And then, like I said, add in that extract, a pinch of salt, your powdered sugar. I mean, it'll be amazing. Okay, some coconut flakes. Hey, all right, somebody stop me. Don't.
I need a pina colada on a beach in the Bahamas. Girl, hot like lava. I don't want no drama. And if she keep give it to me nice, nice, nice. I'ma give it to her twice, twice, twice.
Now let's go ahead and add our frosting to the outside of the cake. I decided to pipe it because I did not feel the need to do a crumb coat, so I might as well just pipe a nice even layer. This was also a lot of fun for me. This is the kind of stuff that I like to do. I don't know, it just excites me for some weird reason. But once that buttercream is on there, I'm really able to just smooth it out with my spatula. You definitely could see the grain, okay, the graininess from the milk powder that has not disintegrated. The saving grace here was the coconut flakes, so you're not going to be able to tell, like, hey, what's that crunch? Oh no, it's just coconut flakes. That's all. So we're going to cover the entire cake in the coconut flakes, and this is sweetened coconut. I wouldn't use unsweetened because you know. This was actually very exciting. I rarely get to cover a whole cake in something, and I'm just loving it. One thing that I did mean to do was I did mean to toast my coconut a little bit. I wanted a little bit of color. It does have a little bit of color on its own. You can see some flakes are more golden than others, but I really wanted to toast that coconut a little bit. But like I said, I didn't have too much time, so we got to use what we have. And a lot of people just leave it like this. I mean, you can leave it like this. This is a beautiful cake as is. But I just want to do a little bit of a classic design, so I had some of those malt chocolate egg candies. I put a couple of those in the center, and then I'm going to do a classic shell border, and these are called reverse shells. That is when you pipe a shell in one direction and then pipe another, overlapping the last in the opposite direction. I do like to pipe my shells kind of loosely, and by loosely I mean that there's a lot of extra drag at the end of that shell. I don't know why I like that. You can pipe tighter shells if you would like. It's totally up to you. I didn't want to leave it empty like that, so I decided to bring it down and do the same thing on the side of the cake, the top side, the top edge, whatever that is called. You guys can see it. And then I also did a regular shell border on the bottom of the cake. Of course, I have to add in a little bit of gold leaf because we've got to be fancy for Easter. You have to be fancy all the time, really, if you can. I think it looks okay. I don't think it's the best design in the world, but I think for a coconut cake, we're doing something here. What do you guys think? It's definitely a couture coconut cake. It's definitely inviting. It's saying, slice me, dive in, grab an egg, and smile. That's what it's saying to me. So this is Easter. That was just the drink table. This is the food. You know when you see a line of aluminum pans, it's about to go down, okay? And there was a little dessert table. I had my Easter baskets there. And yes, upon travel, I mean, as soon as I sat down in the car, the cake smushed up against the side of the container. But that's all right. It's just us family and friends here. So this is the inside of the coconut cake. It looks beautiful. It's sliced beautifully. It is giving light. It is giving feather. It is giving airy. The taste is actually lovely. Very delicate. The texture, I'll explain at the end of the video. Couture and a coconut cake. Bye guys. The sun is down. I got my chips. I'm so excited. What did you guys think of that coconut cake? Me personally, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't the best coconut cake that I've had. I am so used to cakes with pudding in them. I was missing that, and everybody that ate it was like, it is good, it has a great flavor, that rum extract is everything, but I put pudding in all of my cakes and it makes such a big difference. So I'm going to tweak the recipe, and the recipe that I'm going to give you Cakenistas is going to be a delicious moist coconut cake. It wasn't dry, but it was a little bit okay. I hope that you guys know what that means. So rest assured, you guys are going to get the best coconut cake. It was delicious, and I love the coconut custard that I buy that's already ready. I'm sorry, I know it's already done, but sometimes you can't mess with perfection. Big boy. Let's go. It's cold out here. check the description for the link to the recipe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, Cake Mistas. Let's go.